guys, my name is Sierra and today I'm going to be filming a very fun video. It is my first book outlet haul. So I got home from work at like 2 o'clock in the morning and this was sitting at my door. I was so excited. This box is so big. I could not believe how huge this box was. But it was going to be an unboxing, but I said, got home at 2 o'clock in the morning and I was too excited and I just wanted to open it and look at all the cool books I bought. So let's get started. First I'll tell you how much I paid for everything, because if you don't know what book outlet is, you should. And if you like buying books, you should buy them from Book Outlet because it's awesome. So I bought a total of 15 books and I paid $33. That does not include the obnoxious price of Book Outlet shipping. I paid 30% of my total order just for shipping. That's crazy. Anyway, when books are $2, you kind of don't give a crap about how much shipping is, as long as it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. And this almost did. So, let's just get into looking at books. You didn't come here to hear about shipping rants. There's probably another channel for that. Anyway, I'm just gonna reach into my random box of books and pull something out. The first book I bought was The Book of Blood and Shadows. And first off, this book is beautiful. I don't know too much about this. There's a murder and a girl has to face the consequences of it. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody haul this. It might have been Jessie the Reader. But I saw somebody haul this and their premise was, it sounded really cool. So I put it in my Amazon wish list, and what I do when I shop at places like Book Outlet or Thrift Books, I'll have two windows open, one with my Amazon wish list in it and one with whatever site I'm shopping at. So I'll compare prices, and if one has it, like if Amazon's price is like 10 bucks, if the other one is like $3, but it might be used, that's fine, I'll just go and buy it from there. So that's probably what happened with this book. The second book I got is Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. And I read Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin, and I absolutely loved it. It was probably my favorite, not my favorite, but one of my favorite books of last year, because I think that's when I read it. But this is about a boy, no, a girl. This is about a girl who runs away. I don't know what's going on. I just know that there is a snow globe and a cruise ship, and it looks cool. First I thought it was a crystal ball. That'd be even cooler. The next book is called If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch. And somebody else hauled this. Again, I can't remember who it is. I should have written these all down. But somebody else hauled this, and they had the other cover that was on it, and it was so much better. This one is okay. It's not too ugly. Usually I'm not a fan of faces on covers, but this one's not too bad. But this is about a girl who lives in a camper in the middle of a forest, and she's a teenage girl, and their mom has mental issues and then disappears, and then their dad comes and like adopts them, but he like lives in like the real world, and she has to adjust to the real world, her and her little sister. But there's like some things going on with the family that are kind of shady. I don't know. It looks really interesting, really short. So it's one of those things that I could probably read in a couple hours. The next book I haven't really heard anything about. It is called Maynard and Andnica. It looks like this. I think the cover is really, really cool. It's about these two people that meet on a train in New York, or on a subway, and then like they meet in passing, but they just go about their day, and then they're trying to meet again. I don't know, it sounds cool, and I think it was like $1 or something, so I picked it up. It looked really interesting, and another really quick read for when I'm kind of in a reading slump. The next book I bought is called, there's something on it, Riffs, and this was in either the Beyond Bargain section or like super cheap section. I don't remember what it was, but this is authors. None of these authors on here are names that stand out to me, but they're authors that take lyrics of famous songs and wrote short stories based on the song. And I love music so much, and I thought this would be so cool to read. I don't have a lot of short stories or collections of short stories, and I figured this is something that I can like pick up and read one of them and just enjoy it, because a lot of the music that's in here is music that I really like, so I thought that'd be really fun. Ooh. The next book I bought is Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List by Rachel Cohen and David Levithan, and I've been meaning to read books by these authors separately for a while, but so far I have only read Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, which is a great book if you have never read it, but I think they also wrote Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which I have, and it's a signed copy, but I haven't read it because I'm like, no, it's a signed copy, I can't read it, it's too special. But I saw this and I thought it'd be really nice. Again, it's super short, probably less than 200 pages, a little over 200 pages, but it's about two people that grew up together, and they create a list of people who it's completely off limits to kiss, and one of the people is Naomi's boyfriend, and Eli kisses Naomi's boyfriend, and what happens? Who knows? I'll know. But it sounded really fun, so I picked that up. The next book is called The Adoration of Jenna Fox, and first off, let's just talk about how gorgeous this cover is. Again, there's a face on it, but it's like broken up into puzzle pieces, and there's a shiny blue coming out of it. I don't know, it's really cool. This is about a 17-year-old girl who is in a coma, and she wakes up and she has lost her memory, and she gets home videos to kind of recover her memory, and nobody will tell her what happened that put her in a coma. And it sounded kind of along the lines of If I Stay a little bit, and I really did like that, but it's like If I Stay mixed with Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac, which I really like both of those books, so I decided to pick this up. So the next book I got is called You Have 7 Messages by Stuart Lewis, and this is a book about a girl who her mom is a model, and she dies in an accident, and she goes to her mom's studio, and she finds her cell phone still like hooked up to the charger, and her mom's phone has 7 messages on it, and she listens to them, and with each one she finds out a little bit more about her mom's accident. Maybe it wasn't an accident after all. So this is another one that's super, super short that sounded really, really interesting and was probably like $1, so I picked it up. The next book is called Pulse, And this is by Patrick Carmen. And this is set about 40 years in the future. A little less than 40 years in the future. And it is about people who have telekinesis. And it's two main characters, and they find out they have this special ability called Pulse. And they can move things with their mind, and they use it to go up against people who are much older than them that also have the same ability. But I'm guessing they're doing evil, and they want to stop it. And this is a trilogy. I don't know what the other two books are called, but it looked really interesting, and I like reading like dystopian type of sci-fi things. So I'm gonna give this a try. The next book I got is called Confessions of a Hater by Caprice Crane. And this cover, I love it. I love it. It's like comic book, gorgeous. God. But this is about a girl who her family moves to Hollywood, and she has to relocate, go to a new high school, and she's really hesitant about it because she doesn't have any friends where she lives now for the most part. So she really doesn't want to move to Hollywood, where everyone is so like trendy and cool. So when they're moving, she finds a book that was her older sister's that is called How to Be a Hater. And there are like tips in there on how her sister was super cool, and she like starts reading these and adapting them to her new life in Hollywood to try to be cool. So it sounded super good. Oh, and I was just looking that one of the blurbs on the back is from a girl on Glee. She played, her name's Ashley Fink, so she played Zysys, I think was her name. She was the bigger girl who kinda, I think she was dating Puck for a while, but she was my favorite character. She was like super sassy and sarcastic and awesome, and I always thought of myself as literally her. So the fact that this blurb on the back is from her makes me like this book even more. And also, my sister's name was Caprice. Not a common name, so it was destiny. There are so many things that would lead me to think that this is a good book, so if it sucks, I will cry. The next book is called Glow, and this was on deal at Book Outlet for 99 cents for the hardcover, so I'm hoping that it doesn't suck. The premise sounds super cool. It's about this girl, her name is Waverly. She's 15, and she is the first generation of children to be conceived in space. So she, and I'm guessing the other kids, live on a like spaceship, and they have to like start colonizing and making more babies. So she's already set to like marry and start having kids when their sister's spaceship attacks them. So it sounded really cool. I just realized that all the pages in the back are bent. Oh, it's okay. The next book I got is called What Jamie Found. And this is about a girl named Jamie. And she discovers a fact that can destroy her families. And it is super short. How many pages is this? There's no pages. There's no page numbers. How does this happen? 181 pages. And it is by Carolyn B. Cooney. But here's the thing. I bought this and it sounded really cool. The synopsis on Book Outlet was more than what's on the back of this, or I wouldn't have bought it. But I got it and there's like more, but like I feel like this is not the first book in the series or not a standalone, because there's other books on the back, and the fact that it starts off on the synopsis with talking about her two families appearing to make peace makes me think there's something or a book I need to read before this. So I might not be reading this one anytime soon because I need to figure out what's going on. The next book I got, the next 3 books are ones you are probably familiar with because they are huge on BookTube, or were a while ago, but I finally caved and bought them. And the first one is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. And I was gonna buy it on Amazon in the paperback version, but it was like $12, and I went on Book Outlet and the hardcover was $4.99. And if you don't know what Cinder's about, where have you been? It is about a girl named Cinder, ooh, surprise, who is a cyborg. And it is a retelling of Cinderella in New Beijing, which is basically Beijing, China. And Cinder is a mechanic, and she meets a prince. And I'm sure things happen. People rave about this book and talk about how good it is and how good the Lunar Chronicles are in general. So I wanted to get on that bandwagon, and you will, if you stick around long enough, you'll see that I tend to do this. Books get popular, and then I don't start buying them for like maybe a year or 2 afterwards, and that's because I'm horribly impatient. I cannot wait a year or even like 6 months between books. So buying this, knowing that there are 4 books, including this one, out already, makes me calm inside, because by the time I get to reading the last books, I don't know, they'll all be out, and I'll be happy, because then I won't have to wait, because I know I think it's called Snow is coming out soon, but it got pushed back and they released a prequel book instead, and a lot of people on BookTube were really sad about it, but I wasn't, because I haven't read it yet, but maybe I will be after I read it. The next book I got is my first experience shopping with Scratch and Dent from Book Outlet, and it is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. And the only thing wrong with it is that, like, it's ripped at the top, which isn't a big deal to me. It's also kind of like dirty. It looks like somebody just carried it around in their backpack or their purse. But all the pages are perfect. I don't think it's ever been read, just maybe dropped a couple times. But this is about 2 people, Eleanor and Park, and they're teenagers, and I think this takes place in the 70s? 80s. The late 80s. Oh, I'm 10 years off. Whatever, no big deal. What's 10 years, right? Takes place in the 80s, which by far are my favorite decade. And a boy and a girl, Eleanor Park. I don't know much about it, because on BookTube people basically give you a synopsis like I did right now. So I know that people love it. I want to read a Rainbow Rowell book. So I have this or Landline, which is in my previous haul. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it, and hopefully I'll be able to read one of those soon. The next book I am super excited to read, and it is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. God, I'm excited to read this book. If you don't know what it's about, it is about a boy named Todd who lives in a town where everyone can hear each other's thoughts. And one day, he finds a place of silence. Something happens, he's running from authority, but authority can hear his thoughts. What does he do? I don't know, I guess I'll find out. Everyone on BookTube so far, I don't think I've seen a bad review for this book, has said this book is great and recommends it for everyone. So I did that. I bought it. Yeah. It is book 1 in the Chaos Walking trilogy. Yes, I think it's a trilogy. I'm super excited to read this. It looks so great. So very, very great. What is that? Ooh. You hear it raining? Why is it raining? I live in the desert. It's not supposed to rain.